Namah Parvati Pataye Govindanam Sankirtanam
Shrikanto Matulo Yasya Janani Sarva Mangala Janaka Shankaro Devaha Tam Vande Kunjarananam Shyamavalli Samalidham Virinchi Purabhaswaram Margabandhva Vayam Tejaha Tanotu Vimalam Dhiyam Srimad Kshiratharangini Tatagate Punye Virinche Pure Nityam Sannihitam Kila Kalaitum Kshirabhishekadaram Shri Garupmatavallika Sahacharam Marge Sahayam Nranam Shri Madhikshitavam Shadaivatavaram Sanchintaya Shankaram Idam Charangam Tyajatamihangam Na vidyate engai adivastu changam Parno rathangam shayane bhujangam Yane vihangam charane chagangam Kaveri tatasho bhiranga nagara pragbhagajam Bhutaru prantodyanmani sadmani sthitamadaha Jambutaro sthayinaha Lute bharchitaranganath varadam Bhaktyakhilандeshwari puja nirmita sajjalakrtidharam Shri Jambunatham bhaje Shruti smriti purananam Alayam karunalayam Namami bhagavat padam Shankaram lokashankaram Umakante ramakante Yesha masin matisama Namami Dikshitendran Stanna Yashatka Visharadan Appayya Dikshitendran Ashesha Vidyaguru Naham Vande Yakriti Bodha Bodhau Vidvada Vidvad Vibhajako Padhi. In the previous class of Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra Jayanti, we studied about Dikshitendra performing Jyotishtoma Mahayagni. So after the second Tarangam was over, the second Tarangam ended with the Vivaha Vaibhavam of Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra. And after the second Tarangam got over, so we have entered into the third Tarangam. And in the third Tarangam, Shri K.V. Subramanya Shastrigal explains how Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra performed all the Shrauta karmas that have been prescribed for a Brahmana and worked towards attaining the completeness of his Brahmin. And after saying this, he has described Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra's Jyotishtoma Mahayagnyam in a Gadyam. So Gadyam is prose. So he has explained it very beautifully in a Gadyam, which has 8 segments. And each segment has so Yat Shabda is used in 7 of the 8 segments. And Tat Shabda is used in the final segment of it. And the 7 vibhaktis that are used in Sanskrit grammar, they have been used in each of these 7 vibhakti, the first 7 vibhaktis. So we finished the first segment of it in last class. Yascha yaknyaha ghatoghneenam havirdobdheenam Sampurna Kshiragritadi Satvika Irdravya Pariposhama Vindata Yancha Sputakshara Hridayangamaihi Swahakara Vashatkarati Dhvani Bhir Bhaswaram Darsham Darshama Mandamanandam Anubhavantaha Girishpati Pramukhaha Lekhaha Apyamuhyan. And these two are the first 2 vibhaktis, and we finished seeing the first 2 vibhaktis of it. And now the third vibhakti, from the third vibhakti to the 7th vibhakti, and after 7th vibhakti is over, the Tat Shabda is used in the 8th segment of the Gadyam. So the third vibhakti goes on as follows. Yenacha Ikshudraksha Kshiradadhipanaka Hayyangaveenadi Bahuvida Rasadravya Nivahaihi Samapyahitaha Martyaha Amartya Bhavam Tulayapi Namanyanta. So Yenacha, as a result of which Yajna, the Martyas, the mortals who live in this material world, got nourishment. So what was the form of nourishment which the mortals of this material planet received? So Ikshudraksha Kshiradadhipanaka Hayyangaveenadi Bahuvidha Rasadravya Nivahaihi. So in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that when the Brahmanas of this material world perform yajnas, when the different Shrauta yajnas are performed, so that is the food for the Devatas, the Devas who live in the Svargaloka. Just like how the Peetham that is offered by a son for his deceased father or mother, so that is the food for his ancestors who are living in Pitraloka. In the same way, for the Devas who are living in Svargaloka, the Havir Bhagam that is being offered by the Brahmanas of this world, so that reaches them as food. So when the Brahmanas of this material world perform yajnams and offer Havir Bhagams to the Devas who are residing in the heaven, the Devas will bless the world with all that is required for the sustenance of all life forms. So that is what Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita. Parasparam bhavayantaha shreyah paramamapsyatha. So in the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita in Karma Yoga, Bhagavan has described this in great detail. So when the Brahmanas offer Havir Bhaga to the Devas who are living in Svargaloka, the Devas will bless them, the Devas get pleased with it, and they bless the world, bless the earth with rains, and they bless the earth with all food crops, vegetable crops, grains, and everything. They bless the world with grasses, with trees, and everything that is required for all life forms to grow and sustain and get sustained in this material world. So that is why K.V. Subramanya Shastri says, so in what way do the Samapyayitaha means something, so the Martyas who get nourished. So Kena Samapyayitaha, so it means Ikshudraksha Kshiradadhipanaka Hayyangaveenadi Bahuvidha Rasadravya Nivahahi. Bahuvidha means of many different kinds. And Rasadravya, so the word Rasa is very, very important here. And Rasadravya Nivahaihi, Nivahaihi means something that exists in multitude, something that exists in large quantities. So that is Nivaha, something that exists in surplus. So the word Nivaha could be interpreted as surplus. And what is Rasa? So in Sanskrit there are innumerable meanings for the word Rasa. So the taste is known as Rasa. And then in the Sanskrit, Samskrita Sahityam, in Alankara Shastra, there is something known as Rasa in aesthetics. So among metals, the liquid metal mercury is also known as Rasa. So in the same way, there are many different meanings for the word Rasa in Sanskrit. In Ayurveda, when we use the word Rasa, so generally in general Sanskrit, it is the word Rasa is understood to be taste. So taste is, this is a chemical sense that is being perceived through the organ of tongue. So smell is a chemical taste for us. I mean, it's a chemical stimulus for us, and taste is another chemical stimulus for us. So both of these are chemical senses. Smell and taste, both of these are chemical senses. And on one hand, in the so we'll look at it from the Nyaya Shastra or the Vaisheshika Shastra point of view. So it is just the taste that is being perceived from the tongue through the taste buds. So both as per modern medicine as well as from ancient Vaisheshika Shastra. So when we look at the word rasa, it only means that. And in Ayurveda, when we look at the word rasa in Ayurveda, so Acharyas give a very different descriptions of it. So there are 6 rasas which Acharyas have described. So both in Ayurveda as well as in other ancient Shastras. So we all know that there are 6 rasas. So Swadu rasa is one rasa, that is Madhura rasa. And then there is something known as Amla rasa, sour taste. So Madhura rasa is sweet taste. And then Amla rasa is another taste. Lavana rasa or salty taste. Tikta rasa or bitter taste. Katu rasa or orapa. And Kashaya rasa is astringent. So in this way, we've got 6 tastes. When we look at the Ayurvedic description of it, when we take a look at classical Ayurvedic texts, Acharya says that every single taste has effects on different physiological functions of the body. And every single taste, when foods containing different rasas, so when they are taken in excess, so they lead to certain diseases. When they are taken in deficient quality, so there is a deficiency of that particular rasa. So the concept of nutrients. So in modern science, so we know the concept of nutrition. So in the language of vitamins, proteins, carbohydrates, minerals, and so on. So in this way, we learn from modern science about nutrition. So in the Ayurveda, it is not explained in terms of carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, and minerals. So in Ayurveda, it is all described in the language of rasa. So the word rasa is, this is a Sanskrit non-translatable. So in every Shastra, so we've got many Sanskrit words that cannot be translated into English or in any other language. So in the same way, the word rasa is a Sanskrit non-translatable. So the word rasa is something that is far beyond the mere chemical sense of taste. So the word bahuvidha rasadravya nivahaihi here, so it means it refers to nutrition. So it refers to the nutrition through which every life form exists on earth. So bahuvidha rasadravya nivahaihi, nivahaihi means multitude. And what are the different rasadravyas? Ikshu, draksha, kshira, dadhi, panaka, hayangavina. So he and adi means etc. So ikshu is sugarcane. So I mean it's not just sugarcane alone. So all the edible fruits, so they could also be taken here. Ikshu, again ikshu, draksha is a grape, kshiram is milk, dadhi is curd, and panakam different beverages that we drink, and hayangavenam is butter, and then etc. So all the grains that we eat, the rice that we eat, wheat, everything that is edible, anything on earth that is edible, so that could be included under the word adi here. So every single dravyam that we eat, every single dravyam that all living entities in this material world eats, so that is a result of the blessings of the devatas from Swargaloka. And how do the devatas residing in Swargaloka bless the world? So they bless the world when they receive their Avirbhagam from the Brahmanas in this world who perform yajnas. So that is very, very important. So that is the reason in Puranas, when we listen to different stories in the Puranams, we will see that when the Rakshasas attack Swargaloka, so when they attack the Devas, so very first thing they do is along with attacking the Devas, they also attack the Brahmanas, and they will stop all the yajnas that are being conducted. And every Havirbhagam that goes to the Devatas will be taken away by any powerful Rakshasa. And then either Vishnu has to take incarnation, Devi has to take incarnation, slay the Asura, and then is re-established Dharma in the world. So that is the importance of the Havirbhagam that is being received by the Devatas from the Brahmanas of this material world. So Bahuvidha Rasadravya Nivahaihi Samapyayitaha. Apyayita means nourish. Samyak apyayitaha samapyayitaha. So they get very good nourishment in the form of every edible thing that exists on earth. And amartyaha. So after receiving all the everything that is required for sustenance of life in this material world, so it seems all the mortals have completely forgotten the state of being immortal. So after enjoying happiness here in this material world, so all living entities, they could not think about something known as immortality. So that is how the world was blessed. The world is being blessed when the yajnams are performed and when the devas bless the world. So with this, the third vibhakti and third segment of this gadyam gets over. Now let us move on to the fourth vibhakti. Yasmai cha kshamapatāyaha Dikshitendra anugraha kamyaya Kanchana Peethambara Muktaphaladini Anarghani Dravyani Samanaishuhu. This is the fourth vibhakti. Yasmai cha, for the sake of which yajna Kshamapatāyaha, the kings, Dikshitendra anugraha kamyaya. So with the desire of getting the blessings of Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra, they brought many precious substances like Kanchanam, Swarava, gold, Peethambaram, so yellow colored silk cloths, and Muktaphalam, so pearls. So they brought many different precious dravyas to offer them to the Yajna Devata, to Yajneshwara, and receive the blessings of Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra. And the fifth vibhakti and the fifth segment of the Gadyam. Yasmacha Bhakshyabhodhya Lehyachoshyatmaka Chaturvidhanna Jataihi Pratoshitanam Brahmananam Ashirvaden Jagatam Bhadrani Pradurabhavan. This is the fifth segment in which the fifth vibhakti is being used. Yasmat, so means from which yajna bhakshya bhojya lehya choshyatmaka chaturvidha anna jataihi. So there are four kinds of edible items. Bhakshya, so solids that are being eaten, and then semi-solids that that are being eaten. So those are bhojyam. And lehyam is any food substance that is being that could be licked and then taken in. And chosham, anything that could be taken in the form of liquid. So that is bhakshya, bhojya, lehya, choshya. So these are the four kinds of edible items we eat. So when the brahmanas were offered, so all the different kinds of edible items. So during the yajnam, so all the Brahmana Ritviks get pleased. So when the Brahmanas are pleased, the Brahmana Ritviks in a Yagashala are pleased. So they offer blessings to the whole world. And when the whole world gets blessed by the Brahmanas, everything auspicious takes place. Jagatam Bhadrani Pradurabhavan. So Bhadrani means anything that is auspicious is Bhadra. So with this, the fifth vibhakti gets over. The sixth vibhakti is given in the sixth segment of the Gadyam. Yasya cha krite deshantariya api sumanasaha tamaniyani bhavakshamala dhukuladini upayanani samupajahru. Yasya cha krite, for the sake of which jyotishtoma yajna Deshantariyaha api sumanasaha. Deshantariyaha means means Brahmanas. Deshantaryaha means those Brahmanas who are living in distant lands, in other provinces or other states or countries. So they are Deshantaryaha up Sumanasaha, those Brahmanas who live in other provinces, so other districts. So even they, Kamani, so they brought in Bhavakshamala is Rudrakshamala. So they came and they brought in. So they saw Rudrakshamala and other sacred dravyams as Samarpanam to Yajneshwara. And then the seventh Vibhakti, in the seventh segment of the Gadyam, Yasmishcha Devata Dhyana Purassaram Juhvatam Ritvijam Mantra Brahmana Sausvaryam Sarvesham Api Sumanasam Apaurusheye Vede Atitaram Vishwasam Udapadayat. Yasmishcha, in which Yajnam, so means in the inside the Yajnashala, Devata Dhyana Purasaram Juhvatam Ritvijam Mantra Brahmana Sausvaryam. So the different mantra brahmanas that are being chanted by different groups of Ritviks within the Yagashala. So the Shraddha with which the brahmanas had, and then the expertise and the tapas which they had, when they were chanting the mantras and then offering ahuti into Agni Devata while meditating on the different devatas and different procedures of the yajnam. So devata dhyana purasaram, by meditating on different devatas during the different procedures of the yagam. So as they were chanting the Vaidika mantras, so all those who were present in the yagashala and everyone who was witnessing the brahmanas chanting the various mantras and offering ahuti into Agni Devata, the different groups of brahmanas, the hotas, the hota and the Rigveda group of brahmanas, Adharyo and the Yajurveda group of brahmanas, Udgata and Samaveda group of brahmanas. So different groups of brahmanas used to be doing many different procedures during a yajna. And when all the brahmanas, so when the people present in the yagashala saw the brahmanas chanting different mantras and offering ahuti, so it inspired a lot of bhakti and shraddha, a lot of Vaidiki shraddha in the hearts of all those who were present inside the yagashala. Sarvesham api sumanasam, for all those who were present in the yagashala. Apaurusheye vede atitaram vishwasam udapadayat. It created a very strong and unflinching faith in the Vedas, that is Apaurushaya, that one Veda that was not composed by any human being. So that is how the faith of everyone who was present in the Yagashala started growing stronger and stronger after they saw the Brahmanas who were performing many different procedures in the Yaga. So even today, when you go, when we have the opportunity to see any yagam, it could be a Vajapayam, it could be Agnishayanam, Agnishtomam, Atyagnistomam, Atiratram. So in all of these yajnams, the way the mantras are being chanted, so it will just take us to a completely different world. The Dhanaparayanam, all this is something we can hear on a common basis, but this is something that is very, very rare for people of the 21st century to see or hear. So it will be something that is extremely divine. Sarvesham api sumanasam apaurusheye vede atitaram vishwasamudapadaita. With the seventh vibhakti gets over, and the seventh segment also gets over, and in the eighth segment of this gadyam he uses the tat shabda. Tadrishe somayage pradakshinavarta shikhaha havyagandhaha vaitanagnayah sadasyan pavayantah itaranapi yajnadhikarinaha yajne pravartayan chakruhu. So in this way, in the Somayaga known as Jyotishtoma, Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra, so sadasyan pavayantaha, so he purified the existence of all the Brahmanas who were present there in the sadas, in that Yagashala. And in this way, he involved the others also to take part in the yajna. Yajne pravartayam chakruhu. Evam Dikshitendraha Nishpratyuham Somena Chandramaulim Pratoshya Ritvibhyaha Sampurna Dakshinam Vitirya Avabhrita Karma Samapya Avichinagnihotraha Avartanta. In this way, Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra pleased Bhagavan Chandramauli, Parameshwara in the form of Chandramauli, by performing Somayagam. Ritvibhyaha Sampurna Dakshinam Vitirya, he gave every Dakshina that has to be given to each of the Ritvik in Yajnam. So each Ritvik, there is a specification for the Dakshina that has to be given to each Ritvik in each Yagam. So he gave the whole of the Dakshina that was prescribed for each Ritvik in the Shastra. In this way, Avabhrita Karma Samapi, he also finished the Avabhrita Karma. So in some yagas, there is something known as Avabhrita Snanam. Only when the Avabhrita Snanam is performed, so it marks the completion of that particular yajna. So the entire team of Brahmanas, all the Brahmanas, so the Yashta. So Yashta is the person who performs the yaga. So the Yashta and his Dharma Yajna Patni. So he is known as Yashta. And then the Rigveda Brahmana who, so there will be a group of Brahmanas who take care of Rigveda rituals. There are a group of Brahmanas who take care of Yajurveda rituals, group of Brahmanas who take of Samaveda rituals. And the chief priest for each of these Vedas is Hota for Rigveda, Adhvaryu for Yajurvedam, Sama for Udgata for Samavedam. And there will be one Brahmana who will be an expert in all of these. The Shrauta, Hota is an expert in Rigveda Shrauta Sutra. So we all know that each of the Vedam has many different shakhas. In the same way, there are Grihya Sutrams for each of these Vedas, and then there are Shrauta Sutrams for each of the Vedas. Rigveda, so there are one set of Shrauta Sutrams that belong to Rigveda. There are one set of Shrauta Sutrams that belong to Samaveda. So there are one set of to Yajurveda, to Samaveda. So in this way, so there are different Shrauta Sutras. So those Brahmanas who have studied Rigveda, any of the Rigveda Shrauta Sutras, they are known as Hotas. Those Brahmanas who have studied Yajurveda Shrauta Sutras, they will get officiated, they can get officiated as Adhvaryus. Those Brahmanas who study Samaveda Shrauta Sutras, so they get appointed as Udgatas. So for example, there are in Rigveda, so we have got Ashvalayana Shrauta Sutram, Shankhayana Shrauta Sutram, Shaunaka Shrauta Sutram. In Yajurvedam, we have Taittiriya, Apastamba Shrauta Sutram, and then Bharadwaja Shrauta Sutram, Baudhayana Shrauta Sutram, Maitra Shrauta Sutram, Vaikhanasa Shrauta Sutram. So in Samaveda also we have got different Shrauta Sutram, Latyayana Shrauta Sutram, Grahyayana Shrauta Sutram. So those Brahmanas who have studied any of these three, so they will be, so any of the three Shrauta Sutras, so they will be appointed as Hotas, Adhvaryus and Udgatas. And one Brahmana who has studied all the three Shrauta, Rigveda Shrauta Sutram, Yajurveda Shrauta Sutram and Samaveda Shrauta Sutram. So he will be an expert, a very great expert in all of these three Shrauta Sutras. And to become a Brahma in a Yagam is very difficult. So to give an example, so for today, so there is Brahmanas who do Veda Adhyanam, so initially they study Samhita, then Padam, Kramam, Jata, Ghanam. And when a student studies Padam, so he can give exams, Kramam, and then Jata, and then Ghanam. So for each of these, he undergoes training for a specific period of time. So it takes many, so to get a certification, to become a certified Ghanapati, it takes many years. So a lot of Parishrama, many years of Adhyanam is required. And then there is something known as Veda Bhashyam. To study the Veda Bhashyam, it requires another set of years. In the same way, to study the Shrauta Sutram, so that is a completely different track. And to study the Shrauta Sutrams theoretically is different. And to practically apply it in a Yagashala, so that is completely different. So, for example, medical students, so in medical colleges, they study anatomy and physiology. So, theoretically, they study books. And then they do the dissection of human cadaver. So, that is a completely different thing. So when they become clinicians, so in the first year, the way they're theoretically studying anatomy and physiology is different. So that is important. So later on, when doctors become clinicians, so when a doctor gets a case of patient suffering from osteoarthritis, so he takes he asks the patient to take X-ray. So when he sees the knee X-ray, so the way he applies the knowledge of anatomy here in the clinic. So when he sees the X-ray, so when a doctor sees the patient's MRI report, when he sees the patient's the film, MRI film and all that, so the way he applies his knowledge of anatomy, so that is totally different there. So when a doctor performs surgery in a patient, so there also the knowledge of anatomy is required. So the way he applies the theoretical knowledge of human anatomy that he has studied, so that will be completely different. So in the same way, for the theoretical study of Shrauta Sutram and then practically applying it in different yagams, so that is there. So to get trained as any one of these, to get trained as Hota or as Adhvaryu or as Udgata, it requires a lot of effort. And after officiating as a priest in many different yagams, so only then a person can become a Brahma. So this all of these are very, very difficult. And then as per the Shastras, so there are many different kinds of dakshinas that have to be given to each of the Ritviks who are there in the yagam. So Ritvikbhyaha sampurna dakshinam vitirya. And then after doing all that, avabhrita karma samapyos. So when he also finished the avabhrita karma, and again, the avabhrita karma in Yagashala, avlo alaga irukum paakradhukku. The Samaveda mantram, there is something known as avabhrita sama in Samaveda. So other solidity the Sama, the entire team of Brahmanas, so they will go towards either to a water body that is lying closest to the Yagashala. And the entire team, they will take a dip in either it could be a river, it could be a pond, it could be a lake, any water body, it could be a canal. So சொல்றப்ப நிறைய நேரம் அந்த அவபிரத சாம சொல்லுவா அந்த சாமவேத மந்திரம் கேட்கறது அவ்வளவு அழகா இருக்கும். So normally sadharanam it is not possible for us to hear such mantras. Only during avabrita snanam, only during that procedure this particular mantra is chanted. And கேட்கறதுக்கு அவ்வளவு நன்னா இருக்கும். சொல்லிட்டு எல்லாரும் அத்தனை பேரும் they are supposed to take a dip in the river. குளிச்சுட்டு எழுந்துட்டு அப்புறம் நிறைய நேரம் நதியிலேயே உட்காந்து பண்றது அவ்வளவு அழகா இருக்கும் அது. And the experience ஒரு அவபிரத ஸ்நானத்தப்ப அந்த உட்காந்து அவளோட ஸ்நானம் பண்ணிட்டு எழுந்துக்கிறது it will give a lot of புண்ணியம். அண்ட் ஒரு சம்பத்சரம் பண்ணின பாபம் அத்தனையும் குறைஞ்சு போயிடும். அவபிரத ஸ்நானம் அப்ப ஒரு யாகத்துல அட்டென்ட் பண்ணிட்டு நம்ம வெறும் உட்காந்து பார்த்துட்டு அவபிரத ஸ்நானத்துல கலந்துட்டோம்னா இட் இஸ் வெரி கிரேட் திங். அண்ட் அவ்வளவு நல்லா இருக்கும் அவபிரத ஸ்நானம் அப்படிங்கிறது. அவபிரத கர்ம சமாப்பிய பரிசமாப்பிய. And then he says avichchinnagnihotraha avartanta. So he remained an agnihotra. So avichinna agnihotra, this is a very, very important word here. So all throughout his lifetime, he remained in such a way that his agnihotram never got a gap. His agnihotram never was never ended. There was no any time during his life, Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra's agnihotram did not stop. And that is something that is very, very difficult to practice. So now sometimes there be we see some agnihotris due to many different reasons. They'll be they will not be able to do agnihotram for a short period of time. And then once again they will stop agnihotram for some time and then take adhanam, that is initiation into agnihotram once again, and then start it. So it happens. So andamari, without stopping his agnihotram, he performed it all throughout his lifetime. So that is the way avichinna agnihotraha. So it is something that is very, very difficult to be like that. So this was the way Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra performed his Jyotishtomaya. And there is a very beautiful stotram written by Dikshitendra known as Shiva Mahima Kalikastuti. In this is a very small stotram with only 25 shlokas. And Dikshitendra has he has used one particular alankaram known as Shlesha Alankaram here. So when Shlesha Alankara is used, so it will have two meanings. So there will be one meaning, so one primary meaning, and the other one is a hidden meaning. So one set of by using only one set of words, so we can get two different meanings. So one is the primary meaning and the other one is hidden meaning. So in the primary, when we look at the primary meaning of each of the shlokas in the Shiva Mahima Kalika Stuti, so we will see that it is a stotram on Parameshwara. So if we look at the hidden meaning of all the shlokas of this stotram, so we will find that it is Jyotishtoma Yajnam that is being glorified by Dikshitendra. So there in the very first shloka, he beautifully says, Yat sarva kratuphaladam, Yachachila yajnaditaya mahitam, Yat sakala deva rupam, Jyotis tadupasmahe somam. So this is a very beautiful shloka. And when we look at the primary meaning, so it is, so Yat sarva kratuphaladam, Yat cha akhila yajnaditaya mahitam, Yat sakala deva rupam, Tat somam jyotihi upasmahe. So tat jyotihi upasmahe. So means we worship, we meditate upon that jyotis, that supreme light. So the word jyotis means anything that is brilliant, anything that is effulgent is jyoti. So the word tat means Paramashiva Shabditam Savishesham Upasyam Brahma. So that Savishesham Brahma or Saguna Brahman, which is Upasyam. So there are two kinds of Brahman. The Nirvishesham Brahman is the supreme impersonal Brahman that is devoid of inequalities, that is devoid of names, that is devoid of form. This is the superior Brahman. And the inferior Brahman is Saguna Brahman. The Nirguna Brahman is the superior Brahman. Saguna Brahman is the inferior Brahman, which has got form, which has got many different names, which has got many different attributes. And each of the Devatas are different aspects of Saguna Brahman. So, the Nirguna Brahman is known as Nyayam Brahma. So, Brahman that has to be known through realization. And Saguna Brahman is described as Upasyam Brahma, something that could be obtained by performing Upasana. So, the word Tat means Paramashiva Shabditam Savishesham Upasyam Brahma. And then Jyotihi means Tamasaha Prakritehe Bhinnam. So something that is different from gross material matter. And Para Prakashakanam Adityanam Buddhyadinam so Jyotisham api Prakashakam. That is the meaning of the word Jyoti. So something that illuminates other illuminating bodies like the sun, the moon, and the star, all the luminary bodies like the sun, moon, and the stars. Something that illuminates even principles like buddhi. Buddhi means intellect. So that is why it is, in Bhagavad Gita, Jyotisham api yajyotihi tamasah paramuchyate. So this is a very famous shloka in Bhagavad Gita. Jyotisham api yajyotihi tamasah paramuchyate. So that is the Jyotis which we meditate upon. And what kind of Jyotis is that? Somam, says Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra. So the word Somam means Umaya Sahitaha Somaha. Tam means Somam. And then there is a very beautiful mantra in Kaivalya Upanishad. So Umasahayam Parameshwaram Prabhu Trilochanam Neelakantham Prashantam Dhyatva Munirgachati Bhutayonim Samasta Sakshim Tamasah Parastat. So it is this, the Jyotis, this is the meaning of the word Somaha, Somam. So Umasahayam Parameshwaram Prabhu, that Supreme Lord Parameshwara, who is associated with Umadevi. So he is Somam Jyotihi. And what is the, he uses 4 adjectives to describe this Jyotihi. So the fourth adjective is Somam. And then the third adjective is Sakala Deva Rupam. So it is in the form of all the devatas. And then Yatcha Akhila Yajnaditaya Mahitam. So it is this, the supreme being, that is the ultimate bhokta of all yajnas. So bhoktara yajnatapasam, Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita. So it is not just Saguna Brahman in the form of Vishnu that is the bhokta of all yajnas. So it is Saguna Brahman in the form of Shiva, Saguna Brahman in the form of Devi, Saguna Brahman in the form of Vinayaka, Subramanya. So every aspect of Saguna Brahman could be, so it is Sarva Yajna Bhokta. So Akhila Yajnaditaya Mahitam means, so this supreme being is the Bhokta of all Yajnams. So all Yajnams ultimately go to this Saguna Brahman. And Yat Sarva Kratu Phaladam. So the Upasana of this Saguna Brahman gives the fruit of performing all the Shrauta, all the Yajnas that have been enjoined in the Shrauta Sutras. So there are many different yagas that have been prescribed for many different desires. For many different kamanas, many different yagams have been prescribed. So when this Saguna Brahman in the form of Parameshwaran, so when this Saguna Brahman is meditated upon, when this is worshipped, so it gives the result of performing all the yajnas. The word kratu means yajnas. Yat sarva kratu phaladam. So this is one aspect of it. So the other aspect of it is Jyotishtoma. Yagam is another. So this is the primary meaning of the shloka. And then in the hidden meaning, when we look at the hidden meaning, so we will see that it is Jyotishtoma Yagam that is being described here. So that is the greatness of this stotram known as Shiva Mahima Kalika Stuti. And at the end, Dikshitendra ends with Nathatava Mahima Kalika Kakubha Shrutyanta Parijata Bhava Surabhayatu Karunayatava Mimamsa Nyaya Parimalollasaihi. So this Mahima Kalika of yours, so he says it's being intertwined with the Purva Mimamsa Nyayas and Vedanta Nyayas. So the whole of this stotra is replete with Purva Mimamsa wisdom and Vedanta wisdom. So it is a very beautiful stotram. It is one of its kind in the whole of Shankaracharya Sampradaya. And every stotram of Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra, each one is something that is unique in the whole of our Sampradaya. The way Dikshitendra writes stotram, no other Acharya, no other Vidwan in the whole of our Sampradayam has ever written. Tani style irukum. Yarum pohada vadila idu pannirpar, yaru explain pannada vidathila explain pannuvar, yaru use pannada style la avaru sollirpar. So that is the greatness of Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra. And then he says, so we come back to K.V. Subramanya Shastrigal's Dikshitendra Vijayam. So we are back to Tarangam 3, topic 1, Jyotishtoma. Evam Adhipasatsu Svagramam Dikshitendreshu Tatacharya Bhakjala Nipatitaha Chinnabomma Dharnipalaha Tan Vyasmarshita. So the Chinnabomma Raja, the Nayaka Raja who was ruling Vellur, so over time, so he was the patron of his father. And later on, he forgot Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra. So when Dikshitendra was living in his village of Adayappalam, performing Nityagnihotra, performing the Yagams, performing Nitya Shiva Puja, and then teaching the Vedas, Shrauta Sutrams, Shastras, Samskrita Sahityam, Itihasa Puranas to all his disciples. So this is how Dikshitendra was living in his village of Adayappalam. At this time, Chinnabomma Raja of Vellur, so he forgot Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra because he came under the influence of one Shri Vaishnava Brahmana named Tatacharya. And he was Panchamata Bhanjana Tatacharya. So he took Samashranam from the Shri Vaishnava Tata. So these are known as Swayamacharyas. So in Shri Vaishnava Sampradayam, so we know that there are two divisions. So Vadakalai and Tenkalai. So Tenkalai is for followers of Manavala Mamunigal. Also they belong to Tenkalai tradition of it. And followers of Swami Vedanta Deshikar are known as Vadakalai Shri Vaishnavas. So in both of these Vadakalai as well as in Tenkalai, there are many Acharya Purushas who are not sannyasis. So whereas for Smartas and Madhvas, so we say Namba Acharya Yaranaka, Smartala we say Kanchi Mata Inga Acharya, Sringeri Acharya Solo. When we go to Madhvas, so it could be either of the 8 Mathas in Udupi, Pejavara Mathama Arkala, Sodaya Mathama Arkala, Handari Keri Matham. So it could be Vyasaraja Matham for some people, Raghavendra Matham for some people, and for some people their Acharya would be Uttaradi Matham Swamigal. So in this way, so there are many different, so there are Acharya Purusha are not only sannyasis both in Shankara and Shankaracharya's tradition as well as in Madhvacharya Sampradaya. Whereas for Shri Vaishnavas that is not the case. So there are some, so only for one group of Shri Vaishnavas, sannyasa mathams are Acharyas. In Tenkala Shri Vaishnava Sampradaya, it is Banama Malay Matham. For some of them, they are the Acharyas. For some of them, it is Ahobila Matham, Srirangam Srimad Andavan, Poundarika Puramashramam, and Mysore Parakala Matham for some Vadakala Shri Vaishnavas. For the majority of them, it is only Grihastha Brahmanas who are their Acharyas. So, the Tenkala Panona, they have innumerable Tirumalige in pair, Avalka. Veda Vyasa Bhattar Tirumaligai, Parashara Bhattar Tirumaligai, Mudaliyandan Tirumaligai, Mela Tirumaligai, Perinambi Tirumaligai. Abdina Nare Tirumaligai, it's only they go to these Acharyas, or they take some Panchasamskaram, they take Samashrayanam. So, when we go through the history of Shri Vaishnava Sampradayam, so Swami Ramanuja, so he established 74 Simhasanadhipatis. And so all these 74 Simhasanadhipatis, they were only Grihastha Brahmanas and not sannyasis. Although Ramanujacharya had innumerable sannyasis as his disciples, he did not initiate them as acharyas for the community. So it was the Grihastha Brahmanas who were appointed as acharyas. So even today, when you come to Srirangam, the Uttaravidhi, Chitravidhi, when you take a project, when you walk around the 4 streets of Uttaravidhis, all the 4 Chitravidhis, you will have innumerable Tirumaligas, Acharya Tirumaligas. Even today, those Acharya Purushas exist. All the 74 are not there. Many of them have become extinct, and a few of them are still there even to this day. In the same way, in Tenkala Shri Vaishnava Sampradayam, there are many Swayamacharyas. Like they don't go to any other, they don't go to any sannyasa matham, they don't accept them as their gurus. So, Grihastha Brahmana, who is the head of a family, either one particular family or a group of families, so he is the person who will be considered as the Acharya for them. And for today, there is Navalpakam Tatacharya, so their Shishyas are there today. Many such groups are there, so they are known as Swayamacharyas. So they don't take Samashranam from the sannyasi gurus like Ahobila Matham Jaya, Parakala Matham Jaya, or Srirangam Srimad Andavan, or Poundarika Puramandavan Srirangam. So Ivata, they don't take Samashranam, they don't Ivalaka Acharya Ivakadaya. Antamari, there is one Panchavata Bhanjana Tatacharya during the time of Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra. Even today his descendants live. And he was the Acharya Purusha for a group of Shri Vaishnava, Vadakala Shri Vaishnava. And Tatacharya Bhagjala Nipatitaha Chinnabamma Dharanipalaha Tan Vyasmarshita. So he forgot Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra. Ataha Ahayussa Tatacharyaha Yajnam Yajnapatim Parameshwaram Tadupasakanscha Nindannasa. So this Tatacharya was extremely puffed up. So he was not accepting, he was always abusing Parameshwara, who was a Yajnapati. And he was also not in favor of those who worship Parameshwara. Ratnakara Batu. Gabhirashayaha Dikshitendraha Bhupalaihi Itaraihi Aradhitaha Ishvararpita Karmanaha Vyarajanta. Although Chinnappa Maharaja neglected Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra, he was patronized by the other kings, and in this way he shone brilliantly like a sun, and in this way he lived by performing all the Vaidika karmas and every activity in his life as a samarpanam to Parameshwara. Evam Virajanta. So with this, the topic 1 of third Tarangam gets over. So with this we finish today's class of Dikshitendra Vijayam. And in next class we will be doing the second topic of Tarangam 3, which is Vajapayya. And adula nadanda vaibhavangal romma nanna irukum Vajapayya. So with this we finish today's class. Hara Namah Parvati Pataye Hara Hara Mahadeva.